Let's jump right into this explainer and unpack what is literally the ultimate digital goal for any business out there today, reaching page one on Google. I mean, it sounds simple enough, right? Just build a great product, throw up a nice-looking website, and wait for the traffic. But as we all know, the reality of how you actually get there, it's a lot more complex and honestly, way more fascinating.
So how do brands actually reach page one? Today, we're going to tackle the massive problem of digital invisibility by looking at exactly what happens behind the scenes of search engine optimization. We're totally pulling back the curtain on an industry that honestly kind of feels like dark magic to outsiders. But the truth is, it's actually built on rigorous data, incredibly strict architecture, and a whole lot of long-term strategy.
To really break this down, we're using a real-world blueprint from First Page Ranks. They're an extensive SEO agency based out of Ghaziabad, India. By digging into their massive catalog of services and their specific methodologies, we can map out the actual anatomy of a modern SEO campaign, step by step. We're going to see exactly what it really takes to win the algorithm.
So here is our roadmap to demystify the whole process. First, reaching page one. Then, core SEO strategies, specialized tactics, the actual cost of ranking, and finally, timelines and expectations.
Okay, Section 1. Reaching page one, the local and global foundation.
Reaching page one very often starts locally. Before you try to conquer the globe, you really have to conquer your own neighborhood first. First Page Ranks leans heavily into tactics like dialing in your Google business profile, making absolutely sure your name, address, and phone citations are perfectly accurate across all directories, and churning out location-based content. This hyperlocal approach is just absolutely crucial for building community trust. It drives actual foot traffic, and it proves that local visibility is more often than not your strongest foundation for broader growth down the line.
Moving into Section 2, Core SEO Strategies, breaking down the blueprint.
It helps to think of on-page SEO like a digital house. It is everything you have total control over directly on your website. We're talking meta tags, strategic keyword placement, internal linking, the actual content itself. Now, off-page SEO, on the other hand, well, that's your reputation in the broader digital neighborhood. It entirely relies on building your authority across the rest of the internet through things like high-quality backlinks, brand mentions, and digital PR. You literally cannot succeed without both halves of this equation firing on all cylinders.
But here's the kicker. Neither on-page nor off-page strategies matter even a little bit without technical SEO. Think about these core back-end elements: website crawlability, page speed, secure HTTPS connections. These are totally non-negotiable. If your digital house has a crumbling technical foundation, like, say, painfully slow load times or a bunch of broken links, Google simply isn't going to bother sending guests your way. It doesn't matter how amazing your content is if the site itself is basically broken. Next up, Section 3. Specialized optimization tactics beyond the search bar. Once that core foundation is built, a modern agency really has to expand its reach into some highly specialized arenas. Because let's face it, SEO isn't just about typing text into Google anymore. It's about video discovery on YouTube, visual inspiration on Pinterest, professional networking on LinkedIn, and even those conversational queries we all do via voice search on our smart devices. Every single one of these platforms has its own completely unique algorithm, and you need a highly tailored approach to capture user intent exactly where people are actually spending their time. Take an online store, for instance. The agency frames e-commerce optimization as a very specific, multi-step journey. It moves systematically from that initial gritty keyword research all the way down to optimizing product images with alt text, untangling internal links, and rigorously improving the mobile user experience. Honestly, every single step in this entire workflow is strategically designed to do one thing: remove friction. It guides the digital shopper smoothly from search to checkout, ultimately driving sales in a really fiercely competitive marketplace.
All right, let's look at Section 4, the cost of ranking, demystifying SEO pricing.
We can actually ground this in reality by looking at their baseline starting cost. It's just 2,900 Indian rupees a month, which is surprisingly accessible, right? At this entry point, businesses get those foundational outreach services, things like social bookmarking and PDF submissions. These essentially act as little digital breadcrumbs scattered around the web, pointing right back to your site. It's just a really structured way to start establishing those initial trust signals across local directories, completely without breaking the bank.
Now, their pricing matrix really pulls back the curtain on how costs scale up.
It clearly demonstrates that SEO is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. You see costs moving from basic keyword discovery at 3,800 rupees up through technical SEO and peaking at those high-trust digital PR campaigns for about 11,500 rupees a month. It just proves that SEO is really a modular investment. You allocate your budget strategically based entirely on your specific growth goals and just how competitive your specific industry is.
And finally, Section 5, Timelines and Expectations, Setting the Pace for Success. So according to their own data, you really should expect a 3 to 6 month timeline before you start seeing real needle-moving results. Month 1, that is entirely focused on the blueprint. We're talking running audits, fixing all those back-end technical errors we mentioned earlier. By month 3, that's when you usually start to see some measurable traffic improvements, but it's generally around month 6 where those consistent ranking and visibility results really start to lock in. It just goes to show, SEO is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. It takes real patience to build lasting trust with the search engines.
First Page Ranks completely encapsulates this philosophy with a great quote. They emphasize search strategies that support long-term rankings rather than short-term spikes. And that perfectly highlights their white hat approach. They are prioritizing sustainable long-term growth way above those risky algorithmic shortcuts, and the kind that might get your website completely penalized by Google down the road. At the end of the day, it is all about building authentic, lasting digital authority.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to really ask yourself how your own business is approaching the digital landscape today. Is your strategy built for a quick, short-term traffic spike, or are you building sustainable, long-term authority? Think back on the blueprint we just covered. Are you actually investing in those critical technical foundations? The local trust signals? What about those diverse optimization tactics you need to truly compete right now? Reflect on whether you've got the right structures in place to finally demystify the algorithm and secure your spot on page 1. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.